Hello, my beautiful friends. Today I wanted to go over a practice that has really granted a lot of peace in my life. The oponopono prayer. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. So many years ago, I had this awful breakup. I had my fiance at the time cheat on me with a married woman and marry her 6 months later. You know, one of those traumatic things, but it was one of the best things that ever happened in my life, honestly. Just because it honestly felt like it cut my knees off and I didn't know what I was doing. But then it really challenged me to start taking care of me. And then I started losing weight and having fun. And then my Facebook blew up and I was traveling the world and having so much fun. So it all was beautiful. But at that time, I was working with Sweet Janice, who is a part of this group as well. And as I was getting flowing and happy in this beautiful life that I was in, I would randomly keep feeling my ex. And I would talk to Janice and be like, what is going on? I'm so happy. Why do I feel him? She's like, oh, that's a cord and connection that you have with him. And she's like, just say a certain little blessing. And then she kind of talked a little bit about the oponopono, which I was not ready for at that time. Granted, I was still working out and that was my best revenge and getting really hot and skinny. Best revenge that ever happened for me. God, my life just took off. But I just kept feeling him, so I wasn't prepared to say the whole oponopono prayer, which is, like I said, I thank you, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me. But I could say thank you, I love you, goodbye. So every time that I would feel him, I would just get him in my mind's eye, and I would go, thank you, I love you, goodbye. And then it would be like me disconnecting that cord that I had with him. Later on, I eventually didn't have to feel him, and I bless him on his journey and bless that he's doing fantastic, because that's how I work. I don't want to curse anyone because I'm cursing me. But later on, when I got with my husband, he had a group of friends, a harem of witches that really had a hard time with our relationship. Just because he kind of allocated more time for me because we were twin flames and our lives were taking off and we were having so much fun. But these silly women, I like to say silly besides words that I used to say, were really insecure and really sad that I took their friends. And so on one of Evan's birthdays, they cursed a stone in front of a few people, which that's how I found out about it. And I also, as soon as I felt this stone, I felt it immediately. Granted, they also wrote on a piece of paper exactly getting negativity out of your house, because me and Evan were having a very conflicted time at that time, because we both had just jumped into this death process that I've talked about a few times with my old mentor, where all of our old stuff came to the surface, including our old programs to keep us safe and secure, which was, for him, his little harem of witches. They used to call themselves the Witches of Lostwood, which is our little street down here. Bless them. Anyways, so I was really hurt by this. I was really angered, especially because I had this person that was a part of it that was I put my name on there, but I would not contribute to that. I felt so bad. And then she honestly was a sweet little fairy in my life that helped me get through a lot. So I really appreciate her, because having the hurt of a community that I honestly wanted to love and allow them to love me just really do some really mean things. And that's not the only thing that they did. They did a lot of awful things. And I was at a very low point and I didn't handle it very well. And neither did they. And we're all winning and we're all losing because we're all learning. God, I would never take back that experience with those unkind women, because gosh, that's why I created a group called Go Goddess, where it's we're gonna be women that love and support each other. None of this cursing witches and weird things. It's yes, I'm grateful that people can be witches and I have played in that witch realm, but my thing is I'm never gonna curse anyone, because guess what? I believe in universal consciousness, and what you put out, you get back. So they've had their consequences with that, and I continue to bless them on their journey. But during that time, it was such a hard time to even want to bless him on that journey. And that's where the oponopono came back into my life. And so anytime I would feel these women, I would start, well, in the beginning, I definitely was cursing them and really upset about them. I was I was just really distraught about how people could be that rude to someone they don't even know. And even I honestly admired these women. That's why it was so hard for me. I felt like my heart was broken. It's still something that hurts. It's we don't need to do mean, cursy, weird mean girl stuff. It's not necessary, but if that's part of their plan and their purpose, they get to have the consequences of it, but that's not what I play. But anyways, so I had this resentment, this pain that was inside of me every time that I heard their name, anytime I saw them, anytime I had any interaction with them, it was just like, I felt like a dagger in my heart. Tapping into it still hurts. Anyways, so as I would tap into that energy, I was sick of being upset about it, and I was sick of obsessing about it. And so I remember the oponopono prayer, and it's about this guy who grew up in the Hawaiian culture, and he was in charge of this prison for the criminally insane. And people were very violent, and it was a very scary environment, and he couldn't really do much. Instead, he sat in his office and he went through every single one of their files, and he blessed them. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me, and thank you. By doing that, that gives them everything they need energetically to evolve. And he healed that whole facility. And so later on, as I was going through the struggle, I looked him up and I wanted to have a session, and he won't even see you in person. He still just like writes messages, tells you what he does in the astral, what you need to work on, what you need to do for your diet, and then you're good. But I took on the challenge of myself. It's like, okay, if these women are going to be that rude to me, and I'm not going to take that resentment and wish them ill will. It's like taking poison and expecting them to die. They're never going to. But they are great at teaching lessons. And so I oponopono them anytime that they come to my mind. It's like, this happened, gosh, about 2.5 years ago, something like that, But I still oponopono them when they come in my mind, or when I see a picture or their voice or something comes up. I definitely get into my pause and go, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you, until I forget about them. And the beautiful thing is I have forgotten a lot about them. Whereas like I used to have those obsessive thoughts of like, how dare they? How could they? Blah, blah, blah. You know, we all have those moments of resentment when someone hurts us. It's like, God, we can't get it out of our head. But this process gets it out. So I challenge you, my friends, if you have that person that is just on the back of your mind, constantly irritating you, and you just don't want to see them successful, be open to realizing that they're an unhealed portion of yourself showing themselves to you. And so instead of cursing them, which hurts you, and learn the lesson from those witches that did it, it's like, they don't get to have what they wanted. They don't get to be a friend with my husband anymore because of the way that they behave. That's a pretty severe consequence, I feel, because my husband is so freaking amazing. I just love and adore him. He's so magical. If you ever get to have the gift of meeting him, you are just very fortunate. But I just think the world of him. He's so magical and amazing. But really tap into this energy and try the oponopono. Like, really feel that energy of that person that you're having ill will about. Have them in your heart and truly bless them for the highest good. You'll be surprised as you go, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, how the thoughts of obsessions just go away. And that painful moment, yeah, you'll still have the emotions. Like, I just kind of teared up talking about the meanness of these people. But gosh, do I bless them for good? Yes, I do. I want them to have best, awesome, happy, successful lives. Because guess what? When that happens, they don't freaking curse you. They go do their life. But when you curse them, they're karmically tied to you. It makes it hell. So really tap into the energy of this and realize that you can liberate yourself through blessing them and blessing you. So thank you for listening to this, my friends. Many, many blessings. I love and adore you. And thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for being a part of this group.